Right, we're back at Andy's garage. Got 50 days left to his wedding. Let's not mess about, let's get inside. Right, we're back with Andy's F250, and where do we start?
Well,
the engine's in.
Here we are again, yeah. Quite a bit of progress, isn't there?
Yeah. Look at these. The wrapping's on at the moment, but we've got King adjustable shocks on here.
Admire them, yeah. It's one of those things that you spend a lot of money on. They look absolutely fantastic, and you never see them, do you? They're a work of art, aren't they? These are 10-inch, 2.5 King with reservoir piggybacked onto the damper. Being piggybacked, that means they're piggybacked onto the actual damper themselves. Could have chosen remote, which means they'd be on like a braided hose and you'd have to find somewhere else to mount that. I thought that's just one more thing to have to try and find a home for, isn't it? So they fit quite nice on here, they're a nice neat package, and keep them mounted out of the way.
These are really nicely built, aren't they?
They're all a billet item. I don't know quite what specs we've got on these because they don't make a shock specifically for this vehicle. So with King, everything is custom, so it's custom bore, custom strokes. You've got a set selection to play with, but there's nothing specific to this model year of F250s. So we've just gone with a 10-inch stroke, which gives us, I think we've got on this one about 6 inches of down travel and 4 inches of up travel, and the current setup, which is pretty much where we want to be with this, gives us a nice balance on the road.
Are they built based on the weight, the total weight of the truck as well? Or?
Yeah, so Tom, who's spec'd these through King, so Tom at MF Shocks, he's picked these and all the specs on the damping and the valving and stuff, he's chosen that based on sort of the weight and around the size of the vehicle. And he does a lot of work with King direct. He's recently been over at King of Hammers over in the States working with King, tuning, rebuilding. So he knows what he's doing. I've let him choose the spec on these, and if we need anything changing, he'll just do that afterwards for me.
If anyone don't know what King of the Hammers is, it's a big event in the US for rock crawling and anything 4x4, and it gets bigger and bigger every year. So hopefully one day we'll get over there ourselves. So original engines in, it's the 360 FE.
Correct, yep.
Pretty much stock block.
Hoping with a nice oil change and a few service parts, plugs, leads, all that sort of stuff, that we get something that runs nice and does the job for the near future at least anyway.
Yeah, so the main aim is, like I've said, is to get Andy and his fiancée to the wedding. This engine will do that, and then there's dreams of a Godzilla swap later on down the road, isn't it?
I'm going to let you work out all that first, and then
I'm going to make the mistakes on my builder, and Andy's going to benefit from it.
that's the one.
We've got the radiator support just down below here, ready to go on. A bit of fabrication to do there with the... What steering box is that again, sorry?
This is a later steering box. This is a Benchworks steering kit, all fitted as well. All the hoses are plumbed in now as well. All the arms set up, just needs tweaking geometry and things, but yeah, we're good to go on that.
Andy's been doing a bit of painting, so the cab's had a new lick of paint in areas. He wants to keep the patina. Parts like this here, the, what do you call them? Obviously, the inner fender clips to it, and then the outer fender clips onto that then. Yeah, so we got newly painted firewall, nice colour match.
Come out quite nice. We had the whole truck up on the lift. We've gone everything from the bottom of the scuttle down through the firewall, underneath, all the rocker panels, we call them sills, all up the back as well. So anything that had new metal in, it's all been replaced, all been repainted, just nice and fresh. And then I'm trying to, like Jim said, not paint too much of this vehicle, but there's that much fresh metal in it. We've had to paint a little bit more than I wanted, which is why the bottom of the doors have gone all brand new white. Same with the front fenders. They've had white up to the body line again.
Wimbledon white, and is this Boxwood green?
Boxwood green.
Boxwood green, which is a colour I had in mind, but considering I think we're going to be the only two F250 high boys in the country, I'll have to go for a different colour. And if anyone from the UK is wondering, this is basically the US's Defender. That's what we're dealing with. So they've got a massive following. Yeah, it's looking really good and lots of progress made, but still around 50 days left and still lots of work to do, which is why I'm up here to actually help get something done.
New painless loom, work out some of the terminations on that. Obviously, I know I've not got inner fenders in place yet, and a lot of it does mount to there, so I won't be like fixing things securely right now, but just trying to work out some of the termination points, get some of the connectors on properly. Same inside.
If anyone's wondering, yeah, there's something missing at the back here, and one of the issues that's been happening, and we've been talking about it through WhatsApp, is trying to get the axle sorted, the rear axle.
Yeah, so this rear axle's becoming a big headache of mine. I've waited a long while for parts to come from the States for the guys rebuilding it. Unfortunately, this is a Dana 60, but one with only 16 splines, so it's rarer but not as strong. It also means that there's not as many aftermarket parts these days to rebuild. At some point in its life, it's had a major explosion, let's say, in the diff itself. It really churned up the diff housing itself, and what we've just found on the starting the rebuild, which is something they've never seen before, which is why it's not really been picked up before, is the pinion bearing on the inside of the case has failed at some point previously. It's clearly been bodged, repaired, because there's a new bearing in there from whenever it got rebuilt, maybe 20 years ago, who knows. And you can see just a massive gap around the actual cast housing.
Oh, okay.
So at the minute the axle is away with my mate Rob, he's going to machine that out and press a sleeve in there to take a new bearing. So probably another week or so for that, and then put the rebuild and then get it back on the truck.
Yeah, so Andy's done really well to, obviously he's got it up on the stands at the moment, to get the engine in, we've had the axle. I mean, the original idea was to get the axles on, get it kind of rolling, and then the engine goes in, but this'll work, won't it?
Yeah, hopefully a couple of weeks tops to get this axle back in. Still got plenty to progress. Fortunately with these trucks, most of the work's up front, and all I've got to do for the back is paint the bottom half of this bed, and that's going back on. So yeah, we're a little bit stuck for mechanical bits at the minute. Still waiting on mounting bushings for the transfer box, which have been on order for about 3 months. Back order from the States. They're due in the next few days, hopefully, and then yeah, plain sailing from there, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I was on a call with Bryson from PRD Designs, and he was just highlighting the lack of stock on old parts at the moment, just because the big boom in the F250s, everyone's cleared out the stock parts and no one's remaking new stock parts, so there's a massive shortage of parts out there, and does it warrant companies to remake them? So I think this is where like 3D printing and custom fabrications coming into play with a lot of these builds now, which obviously slows the build times down, doesn't it? But what's great is that this is going to become a rolling project then, isn't it? So it'll get you, fingers crossed, get you to the wedding. Probably worth taking a tow rope. And then
hope somebody's driving past in the Defender.
Yeah. And then be nice to see like the future of the project as well, won't it? Because it's just the beginning. If anyone's done builds like this before, there's always something else to do, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the parts that are being created for these trucks now are absolutely incredible. I know Fat Fender Garage do billet door handles, and there's loads of billet pieces. I mean, what's nice is this truck has got its original chrome trim. There's a couple of dents and characteristics on it, but
yeah, this is how it came to me. It seemed to be missing the moulding from the side of the bed, which is frustrating because that's probably one of the harder parts to get with it being an 8-foot bed. I've just taken a punt on shipping some from MPD over in the States via a mate, because nobody wants to ship 8-foot parts to the UK, especially something that's quite, fragile. So
yeah.
I'm hoping that gets here undamaged.
Is that one complete trim then, down the side of the bed?
Piece down the side of the bed. I've actually ordered it for the full truck, so we'll have a new moulding everywhere.
So what we're on about is this complete 8-foot trim that runs down the side here. Now, with a lot of trucks, that trim never comes. So on mine, I think it's a standard custom. It wasn't an option. So there's usually a drill hole where it picks up these brackets, similar to the cars in America back in the day, and a lot of English stuff. It's literally a snap bracket, isn't it? And the trim just knocks on. If anyone over in the States has got a full set of trim, they can do us a bit of a deal on and just make this truck a little bit better for his wedding day. I'd be very grateful if you could drop a comment and just help us out a little bit. What we're cracking on with today then, because we need to, so the wiring.
So I want to keep on with the wiring. I want to put all the Willwood braking system on today, get all the new master, get it bench bled, get that system on, try and bend some brake lines, at least for the front end, because I've got everything in place ready to do that. Can't quite come to the rear yet, because obviously we don't have an axle, but we can do the majority of the hard work. I might take a look at this heater box as well, because I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll...
This is some major, let's show people this thing.
What, you want to get that out?
If you want to see old vintage parts of a truck, this is it, isn't it? I mean, this is probably a real rare option, I think, is it? I mean, look, let's get a shot of that. Look at the size of this. What's the weight in that?
It's heavy, but it's also full of...
Bloody hell.
Full of tree. Yeah, you add about 50 kilos to your truck, I think. Fitting this back in, but I mean, I don't know really how much of this is different from a standard truck, because this is factory fitted aircon.
Which is a rare option, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fairly rare, and it's in not bad condition either, so I want to try and refit it as it comes. Obviously the standard heater core's in here anyway, and all the heater blowers and things are in there. I've no idea if any of it works or how I can test it in the meantime. All I know right now.
I mean, for a truck this old, that none of these vents are snapped. Oh, they're metal, aren't they?
Yeah, they're metal, yeah, surprisingly. Wow. I mean, this one doesn't open, annoyingly, but you can open it manually still. Oh, it might just be that it's not sat on the cog.
It's not sat on the gear, is it? That gear needs pulling forwards.
Yeah, it needs moving a slight bit. But pretty good condition for an old part. It just needs a clean up and maybe a lick of plastic paint just to give it a freshen up. But
I wonder if a vintage air unit fits inside this, maybe.
I think they might do, yeah. But like I say, I've never stripped it down.
Is this an extra glove box here? What is this?
Yeah, glove box, yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
Got some original parts, some U-bolts, and
that's where you store stuff, isn't it? That is the box.
Found the original handbook in here somewhere.
Original manual out the truck found in there.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
This glove box. I'm not sure the warranty's still valid on this.
No.
It's quite useful actually. It's got a lot of information in there that you don't know. Hello, mate.
That's great, little boy. How you doing, mate? Nice to meet you, I'm Jim. Os?
Yes. Os without Ross.
No.
Like Ross, but
Like a black country horse?
Like a black country
no,
horse,
I've
yeah.
heard
Os?
that before, yeah.
Yeah.
You should have heard.
Oskin. Oh, nice.
Anyway, that's bodged.